Thanks for staying with us. So there is a mixed reaction on social media about why some men don't fully disclose their earnings or plan to tell their spouses. According to a man, his elder brother's friend is secretly building a house for his parents somewhere in Lagos without his wife's knowledge. The reason is that he said the day he completed the house that he's currently staying in, he excitedly told his wife that he can't wait to build for his parents. Immediately, the wife said, then you will build for my parents too. Every man knows what he's experiencing with his wife and will take some extreme measures to find how to live with her. What are your thoughts on this? You can join the conversation and call us on 081-270-53687 and 091-390-76948. When I saw this message, I jumped out of my seat. I'm like, excuse me? Why can't I ask when are you going to build for my parents? Are you the only ones that they trained? Do you pick me up from the gutters? You can also build for my parents. Why is it a problem that you now resort to hiding your resources because I mentioned you will build for my parents too? I find it very bizarre.
Long throats now.
Excuse me?
Just because you're doing long throats.
Excuse me?
Just because your throat refused to settle down because of somebody's mother's time is about to harvest her.
Yeah, that's not the point.
No, that's the point exactly.
No. So she didn't say do not build for your mother.
Stop making case for her. Let her answer.
No, I'm giving you my own perspective as well.
Yes,
so
what you read. Don't add your own because you want to add your own now.
Now that I'm done, he was excited and said, next is my mother's house. And he said, then you get ready to be for my mother.
After your mother's house?
No, even before, even after, even later.
No, that's
not in your mouth.
To
make
I
that
don't agree with you, Nima.
It is not in your mouth. See,
I don't agree.
Economic empowerment,
hey,
it's marriage, two people coming together to make each other happy. So you love for him just what you love for yourself. If it is your money and you want to build for your mother, how will you feel if your husband say, wait, I'm the head of this family?
You build for
family.
Yes, we plan it. I can go for your mother first, and then I go for... No, we plan it.
Control, they talk here.
No, it's
the
unfair.
point here is control.
Okay.
See, this is what I say. Women, if you like, people should come for Twitter. Come on.
Come on.
If you are... Come for me, then. If you are a young woman, please aspire to get your money.
That's not the point.
No. Be unlucky if you have a beautiful relationship like this, where you can work together for both parents. But if you are not like that, don't, because of your greed, deny your own parents some good. If you can give them that life, give it to them. Let your husband to be able to focus. He was announcing because he knows he hasn't finished paying his due. Those are the people who made him. Maybe he was 40, 30 something when you met him. The number of years somebody now grow this speaking.
How old was I when he met me? Let's come to talk, man.
So, let us stick
to the issue at hand.
The issue on ground. The message reflects the fact that the man has capacity to be deceptive. So he first came out and said, we finished our house. I want to build for my parents. Next. Okay, if you can build for your parents next, then you will build for my own parents
next
too.
Okay.
And that is not a problem.
At all.
And the fact that the man is uncomfortable with it and he starts hiding shows the man has a problem. When you have married me, you have married my family. As I have married you, I have married
your family.
When your parents come to the house, there is no discrepancy. The same way I will dish the food, robust and surplus for
your
parents,
family.
I will dish it for my own family.
The same way.
There is no bias.
No.
And for me, I do not in any way believe. I believe that if a woman has money and you are building for your own parents, you build for your mother-in-law too.
Yes, I agree.
If I'm buying Ankara, if I'm doing when I do Christmas,
I buy for everybody.
For my mother-in-law, I buy for my mom. It's same. I'm buying shoe for when I travel, I buy shoe, I buy for mother-in-law.
It's not the same thing as building the house.
Because for me,
it's not the same thing as building the house.
I now have an extra mother. Same way. I did not interrupt you when you say your own.
Let's come to Mariam.
I did not
finish. Round of talk. Let's come to Mariam.
Let me say my own finish. So as I was talking, before you interrupted me, I believe strongly that when you have married another family, and you are responsible for them as well. As a family, we can decide in appropriation of our funds, we will sort your parents first. Even if, let me now put it to you, if for any reason, maybe one of your other family members has already built for them, and it is your wife's parents that are in urgent need of the house,
you give them first.
Take care of them first.
Yes.
Because they have a need. So let us discuss as a family. It is not competition. It is complementary. We are working towards a goal.
Be careful not to show what your thoughts are in your heart quickly. That's what this person did. Not when he's announcing. If he's done building, you can say, babes, my parents too. Okay. But not at the time he's announcing, because now you see a man that has the capacity to be discerning.
Yes, I agree.
The capacity to be discerning.
No, I disagree. I disagree. Please, Miriam, go ahead.
I agree with Nima here. And I do not think it's about being deceptive or not wanting to help. I will tell you what I feel this is. So house is a bit big for someone like me. If we're talking houses, these are rich people's problems. We do small. So you want to buy like a box of clothes for your mom. My husband is saying, you know, help me go to the market. I have this money. Please help me get her like 5 whatever of Ankara to send to my mother. You as the wife now use that as an opportunity. How about my mother? The reason why it sounds wrong is because you're making it about competition.
Yes, you started the competition.
That's what it's about.
Thanks.
This is what I want to do. It does not stop you from talking about your mother another time. It does not stop you from talking. What we're saying is that celebrate what's about to happen.
That's all.
I want to build a house for my parents. I want to buy a car for my mother.
That's all.
I am so happy for you. This is exciting. It's not the time to be saying, Minko. What about me?
What about you?
So you are doing, then we must do this block 50-50. You give them 50 blocks, you give it. That's not what, I don't think that's what family is about. It's about that when a person, if we look at, for me, if you see a family as this is my family, this is us, and someone has decided, you know what, we would like to concentrate on this person. Now, it does not stop the conversation sometime later. And say, you know, my parents have been living in that hut for a while.
You know this, Yam.
Wait now. We have been living in that hut. We have been living in that hut for a while. And I've been talking about, you know, like, okay, you know what? You have made a point. And they could have the conversation about, okay, maybe we'll hold off on this and get them something quickly that's more, you know, that is a bit decent. Or let me finish with this one first. You know I'm going to do this. Because when you talk about husbands and wives, when you talk about marriage, sometimes a man has decided to put resources in a house. Meanwhile, do you know the other resources he may have put in this other family that may not be a house? That he has shown, he has taken your sisters and brothers to school. Maybe your parents have just come back from a trip that he has
I have a question. Yes, you are changing the topic. You are. Go ahead.
Maybe he has just done so much and now he says he wants to build a house. It's not the time to make it about your family versus my family. That's for me.
Was his reaction right?
That's what this conversation is
all about.
And you know, I'm not for deception. You know, we have talked about this many times. We have talked about this many times where if you cannot be open with your spouse,
resources,
then,
there's no point.
Then there's a problem with that marriage. But what if, because we have stood for women who have done this before. So now that a man is doing it, we need to take, it's true. Because we have taken a story where a woman has said, my husband is a spendthrift. He does not keep money for me. And so I've carried money and I've put aside to take care of things. What if that is what he has noticed with this woman? Every time I say, let me do something for my family, she's quick to quarrel. But when I'm doing for her family, she doesn't say a word,
So there's an aspect, hold on please, there's an aspect of that where people are naturally selfish. So my own would be, marry somebody who has an open heart like you. So instead of deciding or mentioning it like, I want to build for my parents first, and then I want to do for this first. I want to be for my mother first, or before your mother and all that. Let's plan it like, what are the needs we have on ground? And look at it both ways. Yes. Who needs this first? We have planned that we're going to build for the 2 people, but whose need is most immediate? Who should we attend to? Who is more pressing right now? And you follow it that way. 2, a good woman will not wait for the husband to say, I want to build for my mother. You are the one initiating it. No, because, there are some men who, in the busyness of everything they do, they don't even remember to take care of their own parents. I sit down and I draw up a plan like, mommy needs to go abroad. They have never traveled. Mommy needs to do this. Last week I was saying, this car is there though. We have to hustle and do this. I put everybody like that. And after that one, who is the next person that we need to, who has a more pressing need? Yes. So if you work together like that, why are you going to be hiding money when somebody now said, it's time for my mother? Were you not planning to give your mother in the first place? Nima, please, go ahead.
So, BC, you talk one thing and I want to quickly answer. Even if there's a pressing need on one side, be careful. Be a careful woman. So not be your own first. Because you don't want to put your husband at a place where his mother's prayers are not sitting on him.
No, we will take care of the mother.
Let me finish, because we are women.
Yeah.
We are the ones here now.
And I have all boys. And my children must take care of me.
Of course. Of course. Of course.
Just no show, let's be going to talk about agreed with me.
So disagree by mentioning her 3 boys.
I have 3 boys.
So they will take care of you.
They will take care of me.
Yes.
Because I will raise them well to be sensitive to their in-laws as well.
Because we are women, we know. I remember when I got married, my mom sat me down. I won't forget this. I don't forget that conversation. She said, I know your mother-in-law. And you had long ago, that woman toiled to raise her children.
Wow.
Nima, not ever in your grig and forward living life should you block anything that is meant for her from her.
God forbid. You won't do that.
I just focus on since I enter and made it a living standard.
Yeah.
Because imagine in the pain that you are as a child, you're asking your child for something as simple as that you consider is within their means. And the child, rather than sit and have a conversation, which is just abandoning you, and then maybe the wife is hardworking, and you're just flaunting clothes, flaunting everything. The woman will be like, that's why mother-in-laws used to come those days in the village. Well, first of all, go and check their daughter-in-law's wardrobe.
Yes, their mother.
No, first of all, go and check their daughter-in-law's wardrobe. Even if the woman cannot drive, the wife can drive. She bought herself a car, but she's driving. Like, and your wife is using car. After I'm still trekking. Yeah. Don't put pain. Sometimes just be discerning. Don't put just have sense.
See, is it because it's the man that has the money in this question?
No.
He might not even have this place.
It's not even really about that.
Yes. What if it's the woman's money?
It happens both ways. I know that we have seen situations where sometimes you want to ask one spouse for something, a relative. They say, don't ask you when the husband is there. They will not agree. Don't ask you when the wife is there. Because they already see the dynamics where every time one family member comes, the other one wants to say, okay, where's my own? So you hear people saying that the husband is doing things for his family secretly. This story that we're talking about is just one of many. Doing secretly, because every time he brings up something to do for his family, there's like, but we don't have enough money. This junior school fees is just about...
That's wickedness.
Then secondly, when it's her own turn, you hear... It's okay.
But you know where the money is now.
We'll sort it out.
That's wickedness.
So some people have decided, instead of me constantly fighting with my wife or fighting with my family,
let me hide the resources
wisely and do it for them quietly without her knowing. This is not to say that I'm depriving her of anything. Just that every time I decide to do something major, she would not see it as a time to compete for our own needs or for our own family needs. We will sort that out.
So that you're addressing a case where you have a selfish woman.
Yes.
I think that, of course, that's wrong. I believe strongly that when it comes to marriage, it must be all hands on deck. It's a union.
Yes.
And for the goal of the family, to take care of our parents, because we both have parents, and both of our parents took care of us. And in most cases, the reason I will sit on this part of the table for this conversation is because I know the sacrifices a lot of women make to keep the home. So a woman can make twice as much as her husband, but she has to take care of the children. So she makes the sacrifice and doesn't make the money, so that Oga makes the money. So Oga is making the money, and our own parents don't get anything. So I've seen that happen. And that's the reason I'm sitting here and saying that, because I understand the sacrifices women make, I understand the sacrifices that the parents are making in the woman and the life that they can live that they are not living because they have a girl.
Yes.
Which is why many people feel bad when they have a girl. I've not had a child yet. My daughter is going to be somebody else's family. He's no longer taking care of me. We're taking care of another person. So I'm an only child and I'm a female child, and I know that my father, it would have been nice if he was a man. Jodubela name would have continued. There was a whole lot of things that happened to being a woman. So we must understand the entirety of it. And maybe this girl isn't working because of her husband. Maybe she's made sacrifice because of her husband. And for whatever
full-time housewife.
This circle of blessing that goes to the man's side, it will take a long time before it gets to our own family side. But can we put family together?
Yes. Exactly. The parents together.
Union.
Yes.
The parents
together.
That is why when they are doing weddings, in my wedding, my parents and my parents-in-law wore the same outfit. We bought the same thing so that one person is not looking bigger than the other. The same jewelry on their neck. We bought the same shoes because we wanted them to be like, you are now parents of these two people. And I think that that's the goal we should push. Of course, discernment can happen when you feel like you have married somebody that doesn't have the emotional intelligence to handle financial things. But I would say that you have married two families, and in union and fairness, let there be openness in discussing monetary issues that I will do for you.
It's important to be open.
Yes,
okay.
very
Quick, just in case you're in your relation, you know, all of us, we are looking at the ideal.
Yes.
If you are not in the ideal, don't kill yourself. Because I sat with women who be like, it doesn't take care of my parents. I'm like, it's not a business. Save money.
And take care of your parents.
Take care of your parents. I didn't work for, after the birth of my child, till about a year. I didn't have a job. And I took care of my parents. And I did not make noise. Reason is because I felt it was my sole responsibility that I owe my parents without a doubt. I didn't want an issue of choice to affect anything I want to do for my parents. So I didn't put it as a choice debate. When I need to do something for my parents, I get up, I take it from wherever I saved it, and do it for my parents, and that's it.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Without making noise.
Well, we know they talk about them. There's no debating. There's no conversation. You cannot tell me it's not important now later. I will not listen. So I will not say the same to you.
But that's your prototype. That's your marriage prototype. Not everybody has that.
No.
And that's why we need to...
That doesn't stop me from saying...
Individually,
your parents need this now. Because a woman's eyes are better than that of a man. I can visit my husband's parents and say,
notice things.
These things are not right. I need to do all of this. If I have the funds, I do it. If I don't have the funds, I say, you have to empower me. I need to change this. That's a woman. But I just don't mix that parent thing. It's how you carry your own that they will help you to carry it. Then if you're a woman that they are not giving money, well, I mean, wise women learn from your grandmothers.
Hide it in the wrappers. Is that what you're telling us this morning, Nima?
Yes. Save towards that thing you want to change for your family. Don't fight to fight.
So we have a caller from Sapele. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, sir.
I'm a first caller. I'm just calling.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Good morning. I'm just a first caller today.
Oh, she's just going to greet us.
Yeah.
What do you want to say on the topic?
You have a contribution?
No, I think he's just calling to greet us.
So what I love pushing, I'm really enjoying it.
Oh,
okay.
Thank you.
I think he's listening to this TV. So I know that some women have made sacrifice. So like me, they have, my own family feel like I don't pay attention to them. They feel like I'm more tilted towards my in-laws. And at some point, it became an issue, but they weren't bold enough.
Vocal about it.
Yes, to be vocal about it. And I could sense that energy that it's only your in-laws that you do things for. It's only your in-laws that you love. And one of the reasons I decided to make it that way is not because I love only my in-laws, but because I feel right now he's earning more than I am. And I can't put some certain pressures. And I know that we plan everything, you know. So if I say, okay, this is the plan, this person goes first, the other person, and like that, it works for us that way. But even at that, I'm sensitive enough to understand that I can't put all of my, like, you guys are okay. And it's not like they're suffering. Nobody's asking for school fees or anything. Everybody's good. You're okay. You're fine. Let's do the bare minimum and you're fine. If there is a need, of course, I will step in. But I'm not putting that burden, like, because you did for mommy here, yes, you must do for this. And then the family sees me as evil because I am not doing as much for them. So how do you balance that as a woman?
No, so
For the way you have explained it, for me, this is someone who has thought it through. And listening to you on yourself, unless we now sit daddy down and hear his own perspective, but listening, this is someone who has put everything into consideration. She's looked at the fact that her husband has responsibilities and is attending to them. And you have your eye on your family, knowing that they are not suffering.
Yeah, okay.
It's not that, like, you know, they are in dire straits and you haven't done anything. So for me, it's important that's why it's important when you are getting married, you need to be mature, you need to know yourself, you need to be an adult. Because definitely, people will talk in your ears. Family members will call you out for things that they believe from their own perspective, you're doing wrong. But you need to be adult enough and understand that whatever decision you are taking is coming from the fact that you have thought about it, and it's coming from a good place. Whatever it is that you have decided to do now, you may not like it, and that's something I'm understanding as an adult. I will not be able to please everybody.
Of course.
Sometimes my intentions are right, but it may seem hurtful to you, and so you stick to who you are, as long as what you're doing is from your heart and you're doing good regardless. Eventually, they'll get to know it and maybe praise you for it. But if it never happens, you've done your part and you're okay.
It's not like I'm not taking care of them, I am, but the very big things that they are hoping. But let's quickly take this call. I'll come to you, Tokwe. Good morning, Yakub.
Yeah, okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, I totally agree with Sister Nima this morning. You see, this topic is very unique. I agree with Sister Nima in the sense that if you are a woman and then you notice your husband is doing something for his parents, and then in that position you are not getting up and then ask for your own parents, I can tell you for free, that husband may take it annoy at that. Okay, is it the time that I'm doing something for my parents? You got to know that I should do for your parents as well. So basically, as a woman, you need to work hard. Don't depend on your husband that, okay, whatever my husband has, it is for all the family. Yes, it's for all the family, but leave him. Let him just decide, okay, now I'm ready to do it for your parents. If he wants him to do it, you should know exact time to request for that. Don't say it in because you are doing for your parents now, so you must do for my own parents. If you say first to me, I will ask you, okay, is it because I'm doing for my parents, so I must do for your own parents at the same time? So where do you want me to get these resources from at the same time? See, let me give you a story. I have a brother that before, although it has changed now, before, if you need something from him, you dare not his wife is around. Because if you do hard things that when his wife is around, he will firstly go ask that wife, my brother asked me this. If that wife say that, if his wife said, don't do it, I can tell you, my brother will never do that. But when we got to know that, we call a meeting that come, you know us before your wife. You dare not do this to us. If you continue like by the time you need us, because you must surely need us. So in the nearest future, if you really need us, you must go and ask for that wife. So basically, when we
Yakub, let me ask you a question. What if the man does not have church mind? We've had men who, they don't even see any other person aside from their family. What if a woman is married to a man like that? How do you handle it?
She should tighten her belt.
I didn't get that question. Pardon me. What did you say? Please.
I said, what if you have a man who does not pay attention to your family at all? He doesn't believe in it. He just focuses on his family. How do you handle it?
Okay. In that case, if you have such man, that it is only his family, not yours. See, Obi, this is the truth, nothing but the truth. A woman that does not have a key to her husband's heart, I think she's missing it. You must have something that open your husband's heart. You must know where to ask for something that you will never resist not to do it. Because that is the power of woman. If you have a husband like that, you should know how to handle such situations. That is it.
His husband is married.
Thank you, Yakub.
He's not married donkey. So his husband that you marry is not going to come and till soil for you. He will do what will please him, and you will do what pleases you.
At the end of the day, Yakub answered the question. That was what I was going to say. That when I read the comments, listen to people like this, I just realized that it's even though it's a union and it's a unit, I think that every woman hustle your hustle.
Yes.
Hustle your hustle and have your own. And the truth is, seemingly looks like in most marital relationships, the man is richer than the woman. But there are cases when it's the other way around.
Yeah, of course.
And she shows up for her family.
And she shows up for the family. So it doesn't, when both of us marry, we're supposed to complement each other because there are seasons. There are seasons where I need to close the transaction, Mr. Mark, step in. And there are seasons where Mr. Mark wants to close transaction.
You step in.
I step in to help close it. So I feel strongly that for those that are lucky to have a union where they truly are a team, good for you. This wouldn't be an issue.
At all.
But for those that find themselves in a union where this is an issue, let wisdom direct you.
Hey.
Because at the end of the day, and all women, and women should not, I'm not a dependent woman on my husband or the business. I'm not going to tell somebody, I won't tell any woman to do what I'm not doing.
Yes.
None of us on this show depend, like we are 100% sitting down and waiting for Oga to bring money to buy matches.
Maggie.
So no woman should find themselves in that situation. No matter how you want to raise your children, find a way inside your house to do a course online through whatever social media platform to ensure you are earning money for yourself, because you cannot put your 100% family responsibility on any human being.
Thank you so much. Let's take this call from Qatar. Good morning.
Morning, ladies. How are you doing?
Morning.
Morning.
Yeah, well, about this topic, I think it's an incomplete picture we're getting. But first of all, I think the approach is totally wrong. A woman can get her husband to do anything she wants if she understands him and she knows him well.
Yeah.
If you understand your husband and you know his weaknesses and you develop the right approach, this won't be an argument, to be honest.
Yes.
But
weakness.
one thing, another angle is if we get the true picture, we'd understand that this might not be the whole thing. Because it's either one or two things. Maybe the guy is even scared of telling her. He's scared to be vulnerable with his wife, because I have different stories of guys not telling their wives things because they feel like she's not a good money manager. If I tell her, Uma Dija, kind of thing.
Yes.
So it's something that there might be an underlying story that we might not even know. I was once married and I didn't like my mother-in-law, but because my ex-wife knew how to manipulate and how to make me step down, I always did things for her. I bought her a car before I bought a car for my mom. So it's a case of she not knowing how to approach her husband, and number two, the husband not even being sure of the kind of woman he has. Then secondly, we don't know what the priority is right now. Maybe he's been doing for his in-laws, and this is just more like a big headline because he refused to. So we really don't know what the true picture might be. And at the same time, I think the woman just didn't take her time to study her husband and bring the right approach. That's just my opinion.
Thank you so much, Miriam.
Yeah, so you see, this conversation, we've heard a lot about key to a man's heart, know his weaknesses. Manipulate. So that's the thing I don't encourage in marriages, because for me, that's all deception. So you are with a man who is not kind, who does not pay attention to your family, and I feel that the woman should step up and tighten her belt and take care of her family. Now, I feel that our ancestors, our ancient mothers knew this long before. That's why they'll tell you always put something aside, because they know that you may meet a man who is not that open-minded to help your own family. They did not do it just because they wanted you to just keep money for keeping money's sake, because they understand that sometimes your family will look to you. Remember, marriages were even done in such a way that you went to a particular man so you could help your own family. And if it was not coming, that's when they would say, try and put some money aside. And it's because of that, key to a man's heart, know his weeknesses, that women have resorted to all sorts of manipulative ways. A woman would say, you'll ask for money for housekeeping.
You top it.
Double it times 2 times 3.
Padding.
Fees for children, you say it has
double.
You double it. And we don't want that sort of marriage. We want open, conversations, open discussion with each other. And we need to also put our selfishness and our ego aside when we're doing this. A woman also needs to understand, especially if her husband is the breadwinner, the person that brings most of the money, you need to put that into consideration when you're asking for your own. And I see that on the other side as well, when the woman is the major breadwinner, I don't really hear the conversations of men arguing for how much is she putting in his pocket. Do you understand? He is constantly thinking, I need to sort of step up so that I am not disrespected. So I'm not seen to just be there because of her money. And so I think women should also...
Let's take this call. Kelechi from Shasha. Good morning, Kelechi.
I called earlier.
Yes, I know.
And I want to ask this question. But before I ask this question, I want to say that you women are too intelligent, the way people are digesting this issue. I don't go out, but because now marriage matter, it make me stay.
How did you get on twice?
It's very important to me. Yes. Please, I want to ask this question to all of you, especially Sister Tope. Please, I have, I know of 3 fantastic marriage counselors. I don't want to mention their names. In fact, one, her husband don't die because she was a bully in her house. Nobody knew. Her conduct at home is different from her conduct outside. These ladies have solved so many marriage matters. But their matter inside her is no fit solver. One, her husband don't die. 2 are divorced. So what is your opinion on this matter? Where 3 female marriage counselors are wonderful at home, but inside they are different. They have different conduct, and people testify to their evil conduct at home. Please, how do you deal with this matter?
Brother Kelechi, this does not concern our topic.
But I think address it because I would say that doctors, they can treat a patient, and then they themselves are terrible patients, and their skill sets might be unable to implement it for their own life. That's one. Number 2. Marriage involves 2 people, and one person might have a right, and the second person is not cooperates. It will not work.
Yes. So no, President.
I wanted to say quickly to the family questioning you that when you're in a situation where your family, your own place of birth starts to look at you in a way like you're not one of us.
You're not doing
if you cannot say something kind, be quiet. I have seen that kind of test recently, and I have learned and I've grown more mature to be... On the WhatsApp group, I hardly have the time to type.
Okay.
And it has never been an issue until recently when we needed each other more. And everybody's just there talking, and I will not talk. And so questions like that start to come up. What is wrong with you? Are you not part of us anymore? Oh, yeah, but we saw your post on Instagram. You have to remember, these are your family. You cannot do buzz in comments.
Yes.
You cannot be arrogant in response when it comes to your family. You owe them that sit down, explain in the most responsible, most polite way to that family. And so maybe when you do it, you can then transfer it out. Then for men who think that it is discerning not to tell the wife again because her body will hurt, please, can you empower her to start her life?
Yes.
Can you allow her go and get a job
so she can help
so that she can help her people?
Yes.
So that people will know that, madam, what I do with your money? It's not, let's not be a beggar kind of situation.
It's true. Final words, stop at final words, so that we can go.
My final words, first topic, please wait with joy, self-development, find yourself through multiple ways, and you might evolve, but be open to all of it. On the second topic, I want to just say that marriage is not perfect. There would be ups and downs financially. You might be strong financially today, and tomorrow your wife is strong financially. So remember that the rope you used to beat the first one is waiting for you second time, and understand that you're in a union. So whatever we're doing is for us. It's not for them, it's not for me, it's not for you, it's for us. Team play.
Yeah.
Me, I would say what I always say about marriage is, first of all, it's teamwork, your teammates, your team players. And I believe that if the foundation of the marriage is about friendship, kindness, respect for each other, some of these issues will be solved on that table of respect, kindness, and it will be easy to solve.
Yeah. So I want to say that when it comes to marriage, conversation is very, very important. Have that conversation. Even if you have it the first time and it seems like it's not working, you go back and have that conversation. If you need people to intervene, maybe somebody who your husband respects, to just say, this is my own perspective. This is how I think we should do this going forward, so that it doesn't seem like one person is doing things one-sided or not. Have that conversation. Conversation. Let's understand.
Do you mean disclosure as opposed to conversation?
Yes, no, conversation now. Let's have that open communication. No need for you to hide the money. Tell me. Let's explain everything. Break it down. Yeah, break it down.
This talk we're not talking.
Yeah, no. That's not it. Have that conversation. Thank you so much, ladies. Powerful, intelligent, amazing ladies.
I think we're going to have a new frequent caller, Kelechi.
Yes, Kelechi. We love you, Kelechi. Thanks for calling.
Kelechi
is taking over.